Okay, hi students. In this session we are going to see Diffie-Hellman key exchange. Okay, what is Diffie-Hellman key exchange and why we need this algorithm? See, if you see the what are the guarantees the network security provides, we need confidentiality, authentication, non-repudiation, integrity. So in order to do these, give these guarantees, first we have to communicate the key securely. So this is the algorithm which is going to help us to communicate the key securely. Okay, now we'll see what type of algorithm is used and how it works, and what type of cryptography, that is whether it can be used for private key cryptography or public key cryptography. See, this Diffie-Hellman key exchange can be used for the public key cryptography. What is public key cryptography? If you are going to use two different keys for the encryption as well as the decryption process, then it is nothing but public key cryptography. So in Diffie-Hellman key exchange, now we are going to see how we are going to communicate our key securely. So we'll see. First published public key algorithm appeared in 1976, and two users need to exchange. What is the problem or how it is going to give the solution is, the problem is two users need to exchange a key securely. Assume A and B have agreed on a P and G. This is the value, some primitive value. It is a random value which they both the sender and the receiver should agree upon. Okay, so assume A and B, they have to agree upon the value called P and G. Then A chooses a random number A, computes G power A mod P and sends it to B. Okay, I am the sender A and my friend is the sender B. We want to share the keys safely. So what I have to do, I will be generating a random number called A, and I will calculate G power A mod P. So what is G power A? G is nothing but the G and P are the values which was agreed between the two communicators, that is sender and the receiver. Then what happens? So after calculating G power A mod P, I have to send it to B. What I have to, the value of G power A mod P should be sent to B. Then what B will do, my friend receiver, he will generate a random number called B, and he will also calculate G power A mod P and he will send it to me. So what I have to do with that, we'll see. So the first step is generate the random number, and the second step is calculate G power A mod P and send it to the receiver. Similarly, the B also will generate a random number and he will calculate the G power B mod P and he will send it to A. So after getting the values from A and B, what the sender and the receiver should do is, they will calculate G power A mod P of A. So what is this G power A mod P? Actually they have given wrong here. It is nothing but G power, actually I got G power B mod P. G power mod P, I'll use the ink and I'll explain. I got G power B mod P from A. I am A. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I will use this G power B. Actually this is wrong. I am correcting it. G power B mod P power A. What is A? I know the random number which I have generated. So I will apply A on it, power A, and after doing power, I'll get the value called G power AB mod P. Then I will calculate this value. This will be my session key. So what is the use of session key? Why I need this session key? To convert the plain text to the ciphertext, I need a key. So this is the session key which is used to convert the plain text to the ciphertext. Then what the B is going to do? See, B got G power A mod P from A, that is me. So what he will do? He will calculate G power A. He will take the G power A mod P which I have sent, and he knows his own random number B and he applies here. So G power A mod AB mod P. So he will also calculate the session key. So whichever data A has encrypted with the session key, that will be decrypted with the same session key. So if the same key used for the encryption and the decryption, what type of cryptography here they are going to use? It is nothing but the private key cryptography. Then we'll see the same algorithm with an example so that you will understand better. Okay, see here, this is the P and G value which sender and the receiver is agreeing. Before the communication takes place, they are agreeing upon this value. Next, so private key, what I am doing, the sender A is generating a random number called 5, and what it is going to do, it has to calculate G power A mod P. What is G here? It is 6. So 6 power 5 mod P value is 13. 6 power 5 mod 13, it calculates, the value is 2. So this will be the public key here. So what it does, it sends this 2 to whom? To the B. And similarly, the B also will generate a random number called 4, and it will calculate, as I said, G power B mod P. So what is G? It is 6. 6 power 4 mod P is 13, and it gets the value called 9, and it sends to A. Now what it will do with, what A will do with this 9? It will take 9, that is 9 power 5. What is this 5? It is nothing but the private key, random number which I know, that is 9 power 5 mod 13. If I do, I'll get the secret as 3. Same thing, it got the value called 4. It got the value called 2 from the sender A, and it takes the value 2. It is nothing but G power A mod P. So it takes G power A mod P, that is value called 2. 2 power 4. It is nothing but the value B. So G power AB mod P we will get. That is nothing but 16 mod 13, which is 3. So if you see the two values, it will be same, and it should be same in case of Diffie-Hellman key exchange. So what I have to do, the sender A should do, whatever the data is sent between the A and B for that particular session should be encrypted with the private with the session key or the shared secret called 3. So they are going to encrypt all the data with the key called 3, and it is transmitted through the transmission medium. And how the receiver will decrypt the data? He will use the same shared secret, that is session key called 3, and he will decrypt the data and he will get the data back. So this is how the Diffie-Hellman key exchange works, and it helps to exchange the keys safely. So the purpose of the Diffie-Hellman key exchange, to exchange the keys safely. See here, we are not sending, you have to note one thing, we are not sending 3 through the transmission medium anywhere, because 3 is used to encrypt the data. If you are going to send 3 in the transmission medium, then what will happen? There is the possibility of the unauthorized person to get the key, and he may use the data. But Diffie-Hellman key exchange does not allow that. What it does, it gives other values to calculate the session key. It does not give the keys. So that is the main advantage of Diffie-Hellman key exchange. So with this, I am ending this session. If any queries, please feel free to ask me. Okay, thank you. Bye.